Hey everyone, Aiden here with Local Business Launch. Now thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we have a really interesting video where basically I just want to go through and run and show you the exact setup that I would use if I owned a lawn care business and was looking to run ads on Meta, right? So on Facebook and Instagram to generate leads that are then going to turn into, paying customers. So basically this is the super powerful video format that I use and I recommend for all of my clients. And so now let's just dive in. So basically what it comes down to is there's a couple of different things that we want to do. There's really 5 different sections of this video. Now, just before we actually dive in, you can do this with a static image ad. You can do this with a video ad. Now, the video ad's always going to convert a little bit better just because it's a little more personal. And if you get the video ad looking really good, really slick, then it's just going to attract far more customers than a just static image would. But just if you're just getting started with ads, you can 100% start with a static image and then just sort of use this text in the body copy of your ad and go on from there. But just wanted to let you know, videos are always going to work best. Static images are a little bit less than that. So here's what it comes out to. The very first step that we have is that we want to call out customers in your area, right? So you just say blank area homeowners, right? Then you're going to want to introduce yourself and your company. So you say, hey, I'm Aiden. So my name's Aiden. I'm Aiden, owner of, let's just say XYZ Lawn Care. Then immediately after that, you want to explain what sets your company apart. Right, so you say at XYZ Lawn Care, we've been serving the blank area for a number of years and we pride ourselves on, and then insert what you do best, right? So you have to think about all of your competitors in your area and think about what differentiates you from them. It could be, we're licensed insured, we have all W-2 employees. It could be that you do something special that none of your other competitors do. Just something that sets your company apart and a level above all of your competitors. Now, right after that, we want to add a powerful guarantee, right? So a lot of ads out there are really good, but they're lacking this, which is just basically like, just saying something along the lines of, look, if you don't like our service, then we'll give you your money back. Something super simple just like that. Now, the reason that a lot of companies don't do this is because they think it's too risky. They're like, look, if I tell people they can get their money back after our first service, then everyone's going to take me back. But the thing is, it's not. I used to own a pizzeria, and I had a really powerful guarantee that just basically said, look, if you don't see smiles on your employees' faces when they're eating our catering for their lunch, then you just let me know. I'm going to refund your entire order. And I did hundreds, probably thousands of catering orders, and never once did I ever have someone actually take me up on that. And so this just goes to show that you can jump over the barrier of trust that these customers don't yet have in your company by having a really powerful guarantee and just be like, look, if you don't love our service, then we will mow your lawn for free, right? In this case of XYZ Lawn Care. And then the last step, this one's really important. This is honestly the most important step of the whole thing, is to have an offer that expires, right? Because the most important part of an ad is the offer of like, look, we don't just want to cut your grass, but we want to give you a discount on your first month, and the expiring portion of this is something along the lines of like for the next 5 customers this month or until the end of the month, something that injects a little bit of urgency into the situation, right? Like obviously this honestly this would work without the expiring offer, but it's going to work twice as well when you have an offer that expires, even if the expiration isn't real, and you run the same ad every month and just say till the end of the month, right? It's going to go a long way in making people think, oh, I better get XYZ on the calendar. I better give them a call before the end of the month, and this deal goes away, right? So with these 5 things, with these 5 aspects to our ad, that's how we're going to get something that looks really good. So here is sort of what this would look like for XYZ Lawn Care, that imaginary company. So we're calling out the homeowners, which is Utah Valley Homeowners. That's the area that I live in. Just saying, hey, I'm Aiden, owner of XYZ Lawn Care. At XYZ Lawn Care, we take lawn care seriously, like white glove, 5-star service, seriously. We've been doing this for the last 5 years, and we love our customers. Now, the first section, we want to be talking to the camera. So just you sitting in front of a camera. It could be you at a job site. It could be you in your home office. It's going to work even better if you're at the job site, right? You let people know that, hey, I'm the boss of this company, and I'm actually there making this work happen, right? That's going to go a long way. Now, this next section can be B-roll. And so basically how I recommend doing it is you just get shots of your crew, of you doing the job, and then, over shots, then you're just going to have a voiceover. And you can just say something along the lines of this. We mow, edge, blow, and bag to perfection, leaving your yard cleaner than your kitchen. No grass clumps, no missed patches, no crooked lines, just precision lawn care that makes the neighbors jealous. Our crew shows up in uniform, respects your property, and leaves nothing behind but a flawless finish. Don't settle for the neighborhood teenager or a guy with a rusty mower. Call the pros who treat your lawn like a luxury. If you don't like our service, we refund, no questions asked. So that whole section is done. basically just a voiceover with shots of you completing work, right? And that's going to be super good. And then for the last part, the expiring offer, we want to, optimally be you talking to the camera, and you just say something along the lines of this. Now, for the next 10 people who see this ad and respond, we're doing 50% off your first month's service. Send us your info to lock in that great deal, right? So it's pretty simple, but it's really effective, right? We're calling out all the customers in your area. We're saying like, look, we're not just saying Utah homeowners, right? So I live in Utah. I'm not just saying Utah homeowners. I'm calling out the specific area where I live and where I would do business. So Utah Valley homeowners. Everyone that lives in the area knows that term, right? Then you go and you introduce yourself, right? So I'm Aiden, the owner of the company, right? It works really well when the owner makes their face public and they're the ones speaking directly to potential customers. You go and you explain what sets your company apart, which in our case is, we're going to leave your lawn looking perfect. And we're more than just, a neighborhood teenager or a guy with a rusty mower, right? We're just, playing up our professionalism. Then we're adding a powerful guarantee right here at the end that says, look, if you don't like our service, then we refund, no questions asked. Now, very few lawn care companies are going to do this. So that's going to go a long way in, getting over the obstacle of someone thinking like, oh, well, what happens if I, pay them $100 to mow my lawn for the month or however much it might be, a couple $100, and then they suck, So this is just like, look, if you pay us and we don't fulfill our end of the deal, then we're just going to give you your money back. And then we have our expiring offer of getting 50% off your first month service, right? Now, there's a million different offers that we can do in here. This is like just the first one. You can do something along the lines of like if you have a more high-ticket offer, like you do like roofing or fence install or something along those lines, you could just be like, look, get $500 off. Now, if you're offering a $5,000 thing and you're having a discount by 10%, then that's not a huge deal. But like if you were doing lawn care and let's say you're at $250 a month and you're like, $200 off, then you're pretty much working for free, right? So you have to kind of balance it, right? You want to give people a really good deal that's going to make them book, but at the same time, you got to get paid, right? And especially in this lawn care example, right? Like we're not trying to make all of our money off of the first order or the first, servicing. We're trying to make our money off of getting customers that stick with us for months and years and hopefully decades, right? So we're not trying to get just, in this case, half off the month. So let's say it's $250 a month. We're not trying to just get $125, right? We're trying to get $125 this month, $250 the next month, and then hopefully upsell into other services, right? And go, trimming, doing hedges, that sort of thing. If you have any services you can do along with lawn care, then especially, once you're at that first customer's home, you might as well try to upsell them, try to get as much value from that customer as possible. And that sort of leads into the idea of lifetime value, right? Is like, how can we get, make customers worth more to us? If you're never upselling, if you're never trying to, get them to the highest tier of service you offer, then you're leaving a lot of money on the table, right? And a lot of home service business owners make this mistake of just going and just doing what they've been contracted to do and nothing more. But, if you're there, you might as well ask if there's something more you can do, if that's a core part of your business, right? So basically that's what it comes down to, my friends, is this super simple video ad format is going to go a long way, right? In convincing people in your area to give you a try. And, you can post an image and then have this be the text, and that's going to do fine. But if you go and actually record a video of you, face-to-face talking to the camera at the job site, and then you have a little bit of B-roll here of your crew doing the work, and then you end with you talking to them and explaining your offer, then this is going to be huge. And there's no reason why you can't convert, tons of leads. However many leads you need for your business, if you take this ad strategy and implement it, I can guarantee that you're going to get that. You might have to spend $20, $30, $40 a day, but if you want to fill up your calendar and your calendar is currently empty, then this is the number one way you should do it. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this made a lot of sense. If you have any questions, let me know below. And I appreciate you sticking around. And if you have any ideas for future videos that you'd like to do, if you're a home service business owner, then just let me know in the comments below, and we can roll that out. Awesome. Take care, my friends. Bye.